Good morning, everyone. I hope that you found something fun to do over the weekend. My daughter and I went for a walk yesterday and we found a puppy. And so if anybody is missing a puppy, ask around. We have her. We took her to the Rancho Animal Shelter and she was not microchipped. And so we are fostering her until they find her owner. And oh my goodness, is she adorable. So if you hear any whining or a little bit of yipping in the background, that's just because she wants my attention, and hopefully we can get this done pretty quick. So, happy Monday. I know we can't figure out what day it is anymore, but here we are. I miss you guys a ton, and I wish I could show you a picture of the puppy, but I don't have one on the computer yet. So let's go ahead and get started with solving trig equations number 2. So we're actually going to be factoring in order to solve these. And so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your equation in the same trig function. So in this case, both of them are cosine, so we're good for right now. And so then you want to get everything onto the same side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3 cosine theta from both sides. And I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Hopefully you don't mind me doing 2 things at the same time. And so we end up with 2 cosine squared of theta. We end up with negative 3 cosine of theta. And then we get plus 1 is equal to 0. And so this is why we did that factoring review, to make sure that we could do this factoring by grouping. So remember, we want to do that hop, skip, and a jump to figure out that top number. And so 2 times 1 is going to give me 2. And then my bottom number is going to be that middle term, which is negative 3. And so what multiplies to give me 2 that adds to give me negative 3 is going to be negative 2 and negative 1. So coming over here, we're going to split this negative 3 into these 2 values. So we get 2 cosine squared of theta. We get minus 2 cosine theta. We get minus 1 cosine theta. Plus 1 is equal to 0. So I'm going to group these 2 together, and we can factor out a 2 cosine of theta. So then 2 cosine theta times cosine theta gives me my 2 cosine squared of theta. And then 2 cosine theta times negative 1 gives me my 2 cosine theta. And with my second grouping, I can factor out a negative 1, and I'm left with cosine of theta minus 1, and that's equal to 0. So how do we know we did it right? We have the parentheses are the same. So that means that I have cosine theta minus 1 that I can factor out. And when I do that, I am left with 2 cosine theta minus 1. And that's equal to 0. And so we're going to set each one of these equal to 0. So if cosine of theta minus 1 is equal to 0, that means that cosine of theta is equal to 0. And if 2 cosine theta minus 1 is equal to 0, adding 1 to both sides, I get 2 cosine, come back to that in a second. Okay, cosine of theta is equal to 1, and cosine of theta is equal to 1/2. So I do notice that I made a mistake. I should have added 1 to both sides, so this side should say 2 cosine theta is equal to positive 1. So again, everybody makes me a mistake, right? All right, so on this one, since this is adjacent over hypotenuse, and my adjacent can never be the same length as my hypotenuse, that means that it is a unit circle question. And it does say from 0 to 360, so we have to look at all 4 vertices. So we've got 1, 0, we have 0, 1, we have negative 1, 0, and we have 0, negative 1. So on the unit circle, cosine is represented by x. So we're trying to figure out when is x equal to positive 1, and that happens when theta is equal to 0. And in this case, the directions did ask for degrees, so this is going to be 0 degrees. Coming over here, we need to figure out, this is adjacent over hypotenuse, when is cosine positive? So if all students take calculus, do we agree cosine is positive in quadrants 1 and quadrants 4? So we're going to build a triangle in each of those quadrants where my adjacent is 1 and my hypotenuse is 2, which means this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, so my other side is going to be root 3. So going up is positive and going down is negative. So in both cases, opposite the 30 is going to be 60 degrees. So my quadrant 1 answer is what it is. So it's going to be 60 degrees. But my quadrant 4 answer, we can either go clockwise and call that negative 60 degrees, or we could go counterclockwise and figure that out. And since the directions said from 0 to 360, we don't want a negative value. So if we do a full revolution minus that 60-degree angle, then that means that we get 300 degrees for that second angle. So all three of those are correct answers. All right. At this point, I want to say any questions, but you're not here to ask them, so I miss you guys. All right, so the next question, again, you can pause this video at any point in time if you want to be able to copy the question or try the question on your own and then see what I do, whatever you would like to do. So again, the first thing we want to do is get everything in the same function. So I notice I have more sines than I do cosines. So I'm going to go back to that Pythagorean identity that said sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. And I want to be able to substitute for this cosine squared of theta here. So if I move the sine squared of theta over, that means that cosine squared of theta is equal to 1 minus sine squared of theta. So that means that over here, I have the opposite of, and then I'm going to replace cosine squared of theta with 1 minus sine squared of theta. And so then that's going to be equal to negative 2 minus 3 sine squared of theta plus 4 sine theta. Okay? So my next step is going to be to distribute this negative. So I've got negative 1 plus sine squared of theta. And at the same time, I'm going to start moving all of these values over to the left side. So I'm going to end up with positive 2. I'm going to end up with positive 3 sine squared of theta, and I'm going to end up with negative 4 sine of theta. And that's now going to be equal to 0. So let me just check my signs. I think I'm all good. Okay. So when I start simplifying this, I've got 1 sine squared of theta plus 3 sine squared of theta is going to be 4 sine squared of theta. And then I've got the negative 4 sine theta. And then I have negative 1 plus 2 gives me positive 1, and that's going to be equal to 0. So we're going to want to factor this. So 4 times 1, doing my hop, skip, and a jump, is going to be 4, and my middle term is negative 4. So we're going to say what multiplies to give me 4 that adds to give me negative 4, and that's going to be negative 2 and negative 2. So we're going to split this sign up into these two values. So that's going to be negative 2 sine theta minus 2 sine theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So if I group these two together, we can factor out a 2 and a sine theta, and we're left with, so 2 sine theta times 2 sine theta gives me the 4 sine squared theta. And then 2 sine theta times negative 1 gives me the negative 2 sine theta. And the next one, when I group it, I can factor out a negative 1, and that changes everybody's signs. So now I have 2 sine theta minus 1 is equal to 0. So then how do I know that I did it right? Both of my parentheses are the same. So if I factor out the parentheses, I've got 2 sine theta minus 1. So these cancel out, and we're left with 2 sine theta minus 1. So what I notice is both of those are the same, so I could really call that 2 sine theta minus 1 squared is equal to 0. So then I can take the square root of both sides, and I've got, and we could do plus or minus, so I have 2 sine theta minus 1 is equal to, and then I get plus or minus 0, which is just plain 0. Which makes 2 sine theta equal to 1, and the sine of theta is equal to 1/2. Okay. So then we got to ask ourselves, where on the quadrants is sine of theta equal to a positive number? So we have all students take calculus, and so sine is positive above the x-axis because sine is represented by y, and y is positive above the x-axis. So I've got a triangle in quadrant 1 and a triangle in quadrant 4. And since this is opposite over hypotenuse, my opposite is 1 and my hypotenuse is 2. So I happen to notice this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, so this would be root 3, and this would be negative root 3 because it's going to the left. So my angle value, or my reference angle value, is going to be 30 degrees. So in quadrant 1, my answer is just that, 30 degrees. But if we notice back in the directions, it did say from 0 to 2 pi, so we want to make sure that that answer is in radians and not in degrees. So we're going to multiply this by pi over 180. And if I reduce that in my calculator, again, just type in 30 fraction 180 in your calculator. I believe you would get pi over 6. So that's my quadrant 1 answer. And then my quadrant 2 answer is going to be 180 minus 30, because it is 180 degrees minus that reference angle. So that's going to be 150 degrees. And if I multiply that by pi over 180 to put it into radians, do we agree that that would reduce to 5 pi over 6? Hopefully we do. And so those would be my two solutions to that problem. Alrighty, so my expectations for today, now that we've started a new week, are we are going to complete the worksheet for solving trig equations review number 2. And with how much room that took, I would probably do that on a separate piece of paper just to have enough room. And then the next thing you're going to do is check your answer with the answer key that I will be posting. You're going to take a quiz exit ticket, and you have until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to complete that exit ticket. And again, you're going to receive participation points as well as points for questions answered correctly. And as always, I absolutely miss you guys. I adore you guys. I can't wait to see you guys. May 1st can't come fast enough.